Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa. By leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100-plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100-plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500-plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100-plus authorized training partners and 50-plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry-level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000-plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices. Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100-plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100-plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500-plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100-plus authorized training partners and 50-plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry-level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000-plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Learning and Development webinar. My name is Pratibha and I'll be your moderator today. So if at any point you have any question regarding the GSDC initiative or regarding the session of the speaker, please feel free to use the chat box. And just allow me a minute to share my screen. Meanwhile, please do let us know from where you guys are watching. We would be happy to know that. So, on behalf of the Global Skill Development Council, I'm truly delighted to welcome you all into the GSDC Certified Learning Holiday Experience. GSDC Certified Learning Holiday Learning and Development Experience, redefining workforce skills, leadership, and learning impact for 2026, empowering growth and performance in the workplace. And one of the things which make this webinar so interesting is the amazing expert panel we have lined up for you. Some of them have already delivered a very incredible and insightful sessions, and others are all set to bring in more powerful ideas. So before starting the session, I just wanted to make a quick introduction for those who have joined with us for the very first time. So Global Skill Development Council is a globally recognized certification body. We are accredited by ABICB. Till yet, we have a 250,000 professionals certified with us. We are partnered with 100 plus training providers across globe. We are associated with 500 plus subject matter experts who contribute to our program. We are also partnered with 1,000 plus multinational companies and 50 plus universities worldwide. So these are the training partners who are associated with us from Africa, Australia, Nigeria, Singapore, US, UK, Canada, Asia, and many other countries. So special thanks to all training partners for helping us improving our program. And a very special thank you to our media partner, WordPress Hub, for covering all of our press releases and event releases. So before starting the session, I just wanted to make a quick announcement that we have just launched a very new platform called GSDC AI Studio, Lifelong Learning Initiative, in which you will be getting 100 plus live monthly sessions with global expert, including 4 daily sessions, 45-minute live expert lead session for hands-on learning, sessions from global expert. You can learn directly from our AI leaders around the world, real-time practice. You can apply concept immediately and get your question answered. Certification ready, you will be getting the training aligned with job ready industry standard skills. So do you want to know how you can get the benefit of GSDC AI Studio? Well, let me tell you. So there are 3 ways. First, you have a free 14-day access in which you are going to get the 80 plus live session per month and access to full GSDC Studio. Second, you have a GSDC lifelong membership. You will be upgrading to Pro in $109 and you're going to get the lifetime access of 80 plus live session per month, access to full GSDC Studio, free GSDC membership, access to physical event, LinkedIn profile improver. Last but not the least, we have GSDC certification plus lifetime membership. So participant, this offer is for a very limited time of period. So make sure you're taking the advantage of it because you're getting the lifetime access of GSDC certification, all benefits of lifetime membership, personalized coaching, capstone projects plus AI tool, GSDC Copilot, and competency assessment tool in $100 only. So currently we are covering 100% certification in our portfolio, which include the learning and development, HR, Gen AI, agentic AI, emerging technologies, ISO lead auditor and implementer, project management and PMO, Agile DevOps and SRE, cybersecurity, digital transformation, and many more. But once you get certified with GSDC, you just don't walk away with the certification. You also become a part of our community, which comes with the GSDC membership benefit, including the lifelong membership, certification upgrade, workshop, boot camps, learning club access, also the full benefit of GSDC AI Studio, and many more. So with that, it's time to introduce our today's speaker. Today we have Casey Walls with us. So before giving the introduction of today's speaker, I would like to inform you guys that Casey Walls has, we had a conversation just last minute that actually she is not well. Her throat is very sore, so she is not able to take the session. But she has recorded a session for you guys in previously, just in case if she is not available because of the health issues, because she was suffering from a very long time from these issues. So she has sent us this recording and we are going to play that recording for you. But if you have any question regarding this session, or if you have any query which you want to ask from the KC, please do use the chat box for dropping your question. We will be taking that question to the KC, and we will answering all of the question through our LinkedIn post and our blogs. So with that, it's time to introduce the today's speaker, Casey Walls. So Casey Walls is a talent management and change management leader with 15 plus years of experience driving enterprise learning, leadership development, and organizational transformation across financial, real estate, and insurance sector. Specialize in designing scalable learning ecosystem, modernizing talent and performance system, and executing change initiative aligned to business growth, integrates AI enabled tools, automation, and data driven insight into HR, talent, and learning and development strategies to accelerate readiness and operational efficiency. Known for translating complex people challenges into clear, actionable plan that delivers sustainable adoption and measurable impact. And today she is going to give the session on leading organization changes, how learning and development support successfully change management initiative. So once again, if you have any question regarding the GSDC initiative, or if you want to connect with Casey regarding any question, please feel free to use the chat box. We will be taking those questions to the Casey, and just allow me a minute to share the recording. Meanwhile, please do let us know if you have any query. So, meanwhile, the time I am sharing the recorded session of Casey, we would love to know what are your session key takeaways and learning outcomes, as we are conducting a merging session for you also to create a unique challenges and unique approach and unique learning for you guys. And we are also going to make some new changes in our event theme and everything, as Women's Day is coming on. So we have a lot of new things which we are going to present in front of you. So what are you thinking regarding the changes we are making? We are approaching to the new speakers, the topic we are creating according to the trends for making you future ready. So what do you think about this, guys? Just do let me know in the chat box. And just allow me one more minute. The recording is almost open. So I'm sharing this. And if you are not able to see my screen, please do let me know in the chat box. Here we go. So let's start with the today's session. And once again, I really apologize for inconvenience you guys are facing because of this. But the tomorrows we will be having another impactful session with another speaker who is going to present in live today. But today we are going to play this recording sent by the speaker.
So I know many of you have probably already heard about the coaching industry. That is why you are here. Perhaps you are a part of it. I just wanted to share a couple of stats that I honestly thought are startling and tremendous for us, those of us that want to be within coaching. And I am going to talk a little bit about skills again in coaching. I'm going to ask for you all to contribute to the
If you're able to hear the video, or if you're able to see the screen, please give me a thumbs up in the chat.
Conversation through chat as well, because I know a lot of us have great information to share. I'm also going to talk about enabling managers to coach. So again, many of you might be within organizations, and I would love to know that in the chat. Even if you're not, if you are independent, many of us are coaching managers in their jobs. And so how do we help enable them to coach their teams as a coach is what I'll be talking about a bit. And then we'll just kind of cap off with some things for you to reflect on, as well as, again, as such was said, to focus on Q&A. So let's just jump in. And I'm sure maybe this has already been shared in the week. If it has, my apologies. I just love sharing these stats, though, because it is truly a testament to how big the coaching market is.
I really apologize for this technical glitch, participant. Just allow me a minute. I'm resharing my screen. And meanwhile, please do let us know your experience and everything. So just allow me a minute, please. And I have actually seen some of you guys have given the positive feedback of the session on LinkedIn. So thank you so much for all of that, because your positive feedbacks and your positive suggestions encourage us to do our work on very efficiently and make your learning journey even more impactful and engaging. So yes, now we are going on live. So just allow me a minute. Do let me know if you guys are not able to see my screen.
I am going to talk a little bit about skills again in coaching. I'm going to ask for you all to contribute to the conversation through chat as well, because I know a lot of us have great information to share. I'm also going to talk about enabling managers to coach. So again, many of you might be within organizations, and I would love to know that in the chat. Even if you're not, if you are independent, many of us are coaching managers in their jobs. And so how do we help enable them to coach their teams as a coach is what I'll be talking about a bit. And then we'll just kind of cap off with some things for you to reflect on, as well as, again, as such was said, to focus on Q&A. So let's just jump in. And I'm sure maybe this has already been shared in the week. If it has, my apologies. I just love sharing these stats, though, because it is truly a testament to how big the coaching market is. Again, whether you're internal or external. And according to some sources, some of these are from ICF directly, the International Coaching Federation, as well as others. Honestly, this has become, and these are in US dollars, it has become a $7.3 billion industry this year. We have seen growth in coaching 60% since 2019. I find that astounding, quite frankly. And if you look at the number of active coaches, don't get alarmed by that. To me, what this means is there is a huge need for coaching. And in fact, the workforce has more than doubled since 2019, according to the International Coaching Federation. So this just means people are really looking for assistance, and we are at the right place at the right time. So why coaching now? And I'd love to get your perspectives in the chat. Like, why do you think coaching has just exploded as an industry, as a role, as a service that people desire? I have a few ideas on the slide, but I'd be curious to get yours in the chat as well. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and kind of top line some of my thoughts. I really think coaching has become such a huge service people are desiring, again, inside and outside of their organizations, because we view it as a way to accelerate our personal and professional growth. AI, yes, thank you. I love AI, and in fact, the agentic AI and the things that was offered last week from the Global Skills Development Council was phenomenal. But I agree with our interactions with technology and AI almost becoming a staff member, if you will. We are looking at AI as a staff. We need more personalized attention. That's what coaching provides us. If any of you are learning and development professionals, and I do this as well, we do have programs, right? We still deliver programs. They are a bit more blended today. It's not just instructor-led training, but coaching is usually a big part of those programs because people want personalized attention. It does strengthen their leadership capabilities and their even engagement and retention of their staffs, especially for coaching leaders. But yes, many of you have put VUCA in the chat, completely agreed. We are at the top of our stress and burnout. If you pay attention at all to the Gallup organization, they talk tremendously about disengagement, frustration, burnout, the amount of uncertainty and volatility happening in the world is probably at the biggest I've ever seen. And I've been around a long time. But I think we're kind of at this intersection of, and thank you, I'm seeing agreed. There's so much change going on, and one size fits all programs just don't cut it anymore. It's fine for creating a common language or having people understand a framework, but really it is the personalized attention that we are seeking. And what we want to see in coaching is not just helping someone in the moment, which is great, but truly we're trying to help them transform. And that's what people are looking for. But to truly get to transformation, we have to deal with our heads, our hearts, and our guts, as I like to say. All three of these things need to be in alignment. So we need to have the right mindsets, and we need to inspire the right behavior shifts. But the difference in coaching is it's not that we're telling people what to do. We're not really in an advisory role. We are in a coaching role, and we're going to talk about what that means and the skills needed to be successful there. Thank you for sharing in the chat. I agree. People are, dealing with burnout, they're dealing with change, and they want personalized help. This is why it has come to this, as well as the introduction of technology. That is a great element to bring forth as to why people want coaching now. It's like, how do I manage all of this? How do I change, again, my mindsets and behaviors? And so what makes coaching transformational? Again, would love your thoughts in the chat. For me, it is absolutely about focusing on facilitating and not fixing. We love to fix. I don't know. My mother's a fixer. I'm a fixer by nature. When there's something wrong, I jump on it and I take control and I want to make it right. But being a coach means you're not fixing the person or their problems, but rather you are facilitating to them. You are acting as a mirror through questioning, which we are going to talk a lot about, to help them come to the right conclusion for themselves. And again, people are very capable and creative, right? So we need to be leading them to make a choice. And we need to view ourselves as a partner, not an expert. So again, we're not here as an advisor to tell them what to do, but rather we're trying to help them uncover the root cause for maybe some things that are getting in the way and link them to certain actions or the desire to take certain actions. Transformation for people happens when they uncover their problem, their barrier, their obstacles, whatever it is that's getting in their way. And again, helping them make the decision and make the choice instead of us, trying to guide them in a certain direction necessarily. We're trying to guide them to the right decision for themselves. That's what makes coaching transformational, is when they can take responsibility and accountability and be able to make decisions that are best for them. We're just there as kind of their guide through that process. Yes, Karen, I love your comment. It has been freeing to let go of fixing. I agree. Fixing is exhausting, isn't it? It's just because you feel like you're going from emergency to emergency. So really, this is such a better approach to help people reach their own conclusions. So we're going to talk about 4 skills, and none of these are earth-shattering or probably unknown to you. Again, if you are coaching either informally or formally in your day-to-day, you probably know these 4 skills, but they are very important to master, and I think sometimes can be hard just because of who we are. We're human beings. We are wired a certain way. But really, just like we're fighting that need to fix, we might need to fight some certain things that might be innate in us as well. The first skill is really deep listening. Now, I know a lot of you are like, of course, being a coach, we must listen. I love this 3-level framework, and this comes from ICF and I think Coactive, which is another fairly big coaching certification organization, points to this framework as well within their training. And really, they talk about 3 levels of listening. One is internal. Now, this is more about, me, right? I'm hearing everything and I'm putting it through my lens, and I'm trying to figure out how does this impact me? How do I feel about this? Maybe what am I going to share and say next? That's really internal listening, and not great for a coach. It's not the type of listening we want to do as a coach. But as a coachee, as someone being coached, this can be extremely helpful for them to filter it this way, because they're trying to process information. And so sometimes to process information and again, get to the right conclusion, we need to view it through our lens. The next, yes, I'm sorry. ICF is the International Coaching Federation. Yeah, they have a huge certification process. There's multiple levels to it. If you ever see courses that say ICF approved, it's because you can earn CEUs by attending them to achieve that certification. So thank you for the question. The second level is focused, and this is where a lot of coaches will do this for sure, right? We are focused on the other person. We are resisting the urge to, while we're listening, think about the next thing that we're going to say in our heads. We do that a lot. Again, that's human nature. When I train managers on how to be coaches, that is the number one thing we focus on, is they have to shut off their internal dialogue that's happening in their heads and truly listen and give your full attention to the person in front of you. This focused listening builds trust. The way we build trust is through listening, more so than through talking. It's always through listening. But it's this third level that they call global listening that is very key for coaches, and that you are in tune to everything around you. So just because someone might say, yeah, you might say, well, just how are things going? You might open your session with a question that broadly, and they might say, yeah, everything's going fine. But you can tell from their body language, from their tone, from maybe their lack of eye contact, that things are indeed not fine. And so when you're listening with all of your senses and global listening, you can really start to pick up on how people might really be feeling. Or if you don't know, there's enough there for you to ask a question like, I'm sensing some hesitation. What's underneath that? Or I'm not, I'm sensing a little bit of fear there. I'm hearing you say that you're not sure about the situation. So when we listen with our ears and our eyes and all of our senses from a global perspective, then we can truly begin to think about what sorts of questions might we ask. And that is our next skill, which is asking powerful questions. So again, I realize listening and questioning are very simple skills, but they're hard to master. And when we think about questions, this is something that I train a lot of coaches and managers on as well, is we really want to frame our questions to explore what's going on. We don't want to ask them to explain to us going on. And what I mean by that is, sometimes we may ask them questions in terms, and we start with the question, why? Powerful questions, we want to steer away from using why. Why puts people on the defensive, actually. It's a very difficult question to respond to, and I can't explain it, but the word why really puts that together. Well, I don't know what's going on. Did you lose me again? This is crazy, you guys.
Yes, we lost you.
All right. I keep getting disconnected from my monitor, so my apologies there. I will just continue to monitor that, and if I have to continue to share, again, my apologies, take note, and we'll get it reshared. So what we want to do is we want to be able to ask how and what questions. So for example, you might find someone struggling, but you might say, gosh, why is this hard for you? That puts them on the defensive. Instead, we could say, what's the real challenge that's happening here? What's the challenge that's happening here for you? It's a different way to ask the same question, actually. So you are still getting to the root cause. You're still asking why, but you're not asking it with the word why, because that word puts people on the defensive. So good examples of powerful questions that I like to ask, and I have a number of other examples throughout the presentation, is, what does success look like for you in this? Or if people seem to not be answering the question, what are you avoiding? What's getting in your way? My favorite question on this slide is, what would be different if you believed you could do that? Because oftentimes what blocks people and why they come to coaching in the first place is that they're stuck, right? They can't move forward. They can't make a decision. They're not feeling fulfilled. They want something else. They're just looking for a different direction. And so this is the best question I can ask to help someone get unstuck. But really, we want to stick with what and how questions and avoid asking why. Our next skill set here is to really, our job as coach is to create awareness, but it is also to challenge them. That's why they're here in front of you looking for coaching. Again, we're not here to give advice, but we are here to challenge their assumptions, to challenge their thinking, to challenge why they're getting stuck. So the first thing we can do is we can help to get them to reflect on insights and themes that we're hearing. And the way that we can do this is we can make a statement like, here's what I'm hearing. Here's what I'm noticing. I'm wondering, ... So those are great lead-ins to try to reflect on what you've heard already. And then we want to challenge with care and curiosity. And again, one of my favorite questions is, what if the opposite were true? So I recently had someone come to me struggling with, and maybe some of you are in this boat. I certainly have been in this situation before. I'm not sure if I want to stay in my corporate job or if I want to go out on my own and be an entrepreneur. And oftentimes what blocks people from making that decision is fear of failing, fear of not making money, fear of not being viewed as an expert, you name it. We all have imposter syndrome at times and thinks that perhaps this is something we shouldn't be doing. But I had this person in front of me saying, but what if I don't make money? What if I don't have, and to pause and say, what I'm hearing you say is, you're afraid of failing. But what were to happen if you were to succeed? What would life look like if you actually got 1 or 2 clients? So creating awareness of what you're hearing them say and challenging their assumptions is a key skill that we need to master as a coach. And then finally, the biggest one, which can be difficult as well, is to create accountability as a core skill. So we're not their manager, right? We don't manage them. People who enter into a coaching engagement, they are responsible for their success. They're responsible for their outcomes, their actions, even the goals that they want to achieve in the coaching engagement. But what we can do is co-create next steps with them. We can maybe help them create stretch goals or ways that they could seek support to do what it is they want to do. And we can also create accountability through asking powerful questions. So the first question, I love these two on the slide and I ask them all the time. What will help you follow through? So again, we're leading them to come up with why, what's going to help you do this? What support do you need? Resources, mindset shifts? Do you need further conversations? Are there other people you can work with? And my all-time favorite, and this is great to getting it to accountability, is what do you want me to ask you about next time? That actually gets them thinking about where they're going to focus their time and effort between your coaching sessions. So this is a way to create accountability without being their manager, because again, we're not their manager, but really through questioning, we can get them to be accountable for the things that they're going to do between sessions. So those are the 4 key skills that I went through fairly high level, but it really is about deep listening. We want to be on that global listening scale where we're paying attention to everything and not just hearing their words, but understanding how they're reacting and how they're showing up. And is there anything underneath what they're saying to us? Asking powerful questions, what and how questions to move the conversation forward. Certainly, we want to create awareness by recapping for them what we're hearing, and we want to challenge them. The reason they're stuck is probably because they've had nobody to challenge them in their assumptions and their thinking. And then finally, we want to create accountability with them through asking questions. Well, y'all, this is going to be a challenge today. My apologies. Okay, with that, maybe we don't need slides right now. I'm going to ask you to put in the chat. So how would you create accountability in a coaching conversation? Because this is the hardest thing to do. What things have you tried? What things resonate with you? How would you create accountability in a coaching conversation? Just drop them in chat. Oh, and I love, Victoria, I love your question. Do these core skills apply to being a mentor? Being a mentor is a little bit different than being a coach, but certainly listening, asking questions, and holding accountable can apply to that. Usually when you're in the role of a mentor, you might be giving a little bit more advice. People are typically coming to you for advice about their career or to develop a certain skill or, get to the next level. Typically mentors might be a little bit more on the advising side than the coaching side, although I do encourage mentors ask great questions and to have some accountability built with it. So that's a great question. Yes, action plan. Thank you. Right. Options. Ooh, good one. Yes. Yes, I agree. Yes, accountability for readiness. Yes. I agree about self-monitoring. Again, we're not there to monitor them, but we need to engage them and encourage them to monitor their own actions. These are great. These are great. Thank you for sharing. Yes. Set goals. I agree. This should be treated almost like a project, is what I sometimes tell people, is that, this is a service. We're engaging to help you achieve what you want to achieve. And to be honest, this is where, again, we need to have goals for this conversation. What is it that you're trying to achieve? Is it, how are you stuck? What are the decisions you're looking to make about your life or your career? I mean, it depends on the type of coaching you're doing as well. But getting clear up front on goals and objectives and how you're going to communicate with one another, how they're going to participate, what your roles are, very important in terms of how to kick off a coaching engagement so that people understand. Their readiness, I love that comment because it's hard to coach people if they're not coachable. And so actually there's a couple of, and I don't have a link for you all. I might be able to find this after the session. There's a couple of free assessments out there to help people understand if they're coachable. And they need to be open. And I have certainly coached people who were not open to coaching. And that's where sometimes getting feedback from others, especially if it's something that they need to change from a behavior perspective, certainly help with that. Great. No, I appreciate the comments. Amazing. Hopefully I answered everybody's questions. I'm just looking through the chat here. Okay. If you do have questions, I know we definitely will have time to get to them at the end. So I'm going to move forward. And again, I will roll with it if my monitor keeps, something's wrong, and I will keep resharing if needed. So sorry about that, everybody. Okay.
Hi, participants. So I would like to answer one question which has been dropped into the chat box according to the session. So TM Jaikers wants to know, please clarify mentor, facilitator, and counselor. So to clarify this, the mentor who guides and develops people for long-term growth. the mentor who will be doing these things, like, they will be experiencing the guide, sharing knowledge, skills, and wisdom to support someone's growth and career development. But they will also be focused on to the long-term development and capability building and career progression. So, from the leader perspective, if we'll talk about the mentor, so a leader as a mentor provides guidance, advice, and feedback based on the experience, because the leader is not going to give you a textbook answer. The leader is going to give you the answer regarding the experience which he has or she has been developed in his or her career journey, to make you to act as a role model, otherwise to the challenges which they have what they have faced into the career journey. And if you are going through the same challenges, otherwise you are going to get the similar kind of situation in future, so they are going to give you the example, and they're going to help you according to that, and they're going to give you the clear solution for your issues regarding the guidance. Now, if I talk about the facilitator, so facilitator means enabling a process, discussion, or group activity to achieve a desired outcome with imposing personal experience. So the meaning of the facilitator is, if your leadership, if the leadership and management that who works as a facilitator rather than being a mentor, the person will be more focused on your process management, how you are collaborating with the teams, or apart from your task, what are the achieving objective efficiency you have. So the facilitator is going to ensure meetings, the workshop, or brainstorming sessions which are productive. They will also help you to grow. They will also help group communicated, identify solution, and make decision. So for an example, if any of your the teams or cross functional teams having any problems, or having any project plan or any new ideas or anything like that, so facilitator will not guide you, not going to give you the input in that. Instead of that, they will listen to your ideas, they will listen to your brainstorming topics, and they will give you a clear guidance what could be best and what could not be, and they will leave the decision up to you, because they will give you both of the things. They will give you a two direction, and according to that, then they will ask you to choose which in which like, and that is because they wants to encourage you to become your own person in your career journey, rather than depending on anybody else. Now, if I talk about the counselor, so counselor is the one who act as a emotional support, guidance, or advice to help someone manage personal and professional challenges. So I'm sure, like, I have faced this. So a lot of you guys have also faced this into your career journey. Like, there has been a time where we are going through our personal thing, along with that we have to manage our professional work, because come on, we are corporate employers, and today's corporate world, the like, we have to keep the professional and personal separate to ensure our work efficiency. But still, sometimes it happens that our personal challenges overcome our professional challenges, and our professional challenges overcome our personal challenges. So there will be few managers, few leadership, few VP, few founders, the management, who is going to be your counselor, who is going to tell you that it is okay, it is okay to be not well, it is okay to have a emotional day, it is okay to have a challenges, and it is okay to be, keep a 1 day or 2 day aside to resolve your personal challenges, otherwise your professional challenges. But they will also focus on listening and understanding you to find a solution, rather than just telling you that, oh, this is a corporate, this not gonna work, and you have to do it by yourself, you have to manage in everything. So they don't do that. They act like a friend, they act like a counselor, they will help you, they will listen to you, they will be empathetic, they will give you the solution, and they will give you a day, also a 2 day, to improvise your thing, rather than just giving you a decision. Now, if I talk about the coach, so coach, according to me, I am not sure how many have you faced this kind of situation, but according to me, I have gotten some excellent management in my working journey, who has been my counselor, who has been my mentor, who has been my facilitator, as well as the person has been my coach. Because as a fresh, especially as a fresher, when you join in an industry, whether it's a learning and development industry, whether it is AI industry, whether it is IT, whether it is non-IT, any other industry, some person's learning pace is very fast. They learn, you know, they learn on a rapid speed, but some person's learning space is a little bit slow. So at that point of time, we need a leader who can help us to improve our performance rather than just looking on our negative point, who can understand that okay, we are going to do this, we are going to learn it, but we need some support from their side, we need some accountability, we need the feedbacks, what we are doing wrong, what we are not doing correct, and what we are doing correct. Because I have understand one thing, that appreciation and criticism both are the most valuable in your career journey. And if you got a mentor, if you got a leadership, if you got a management who is appreciating you in front of the everyone and who is criticizing you in alone in a cabin, so that, I think, according to me, that kind of leadership is a very fabulous leadership. Because the person is appreciating for my work, the person is giving me a path to grow, but the person is also telling me what I'm doing wrong to improve my performance. The person is giving me feedback time to time. The person is making me learn how to take accountability for my own work, which help me grow, and which help me, to handle the short to medium term crisis management, people management, work management, relationship management. So these are the differences between coach, leader, mentor, facilitator, and counselor. So I hope, TM, this the query which you have been asking has been cleared. But if you have any query, guys, please feel free to use the chat box. And once again, we will be back to the session.
So here's a couple of common pitfalls that I notice with coaches, that we tend to coach the person and not the problem. So again, by setting goals and objectives up front, we know what it is we're tackling. We know exactly the problems or the barriers or whatever the goal is that the person wants to achieve. And that's where we need to focus. We need to, again, yes, we need to work with the person, but we need to get to ultimately them solving their own problem. But a couple of things I see all the time happen, especially with managers that I'm coaching to be coaches themselves, is that we can tend to rescue, if you will, or advise too quickly. Again, our role really isn't to advise. Sometimes I do find myself in that role. Sometimes people say, well, what would you do in this situation? I often get asked that. I try not to answer it, to be fair. I try to say, I could tell you what I would do, but this is really about you. So the question is, what can we do to set you up for success so that you feel confident in making the right decision? But sometimes we'll rush to rescue, or we might, the one down from there, we're uncomfortable with silence, so we want to fill the silence. What I would say from a coach's mindset is that we must have patience and we must be comfortable with silence. Now, sometimes you're not going to let that go on forever, but you might ask the same question a different way. That actually gets to fill some of the silence. But sometimes we're just so uncomfortable that we might rush in and, again, have that fixer mindset and want to fix. We need to resist that. Sometimes we may ask leading questions, and leading questions, again, we want to lead them to a conclusion for sure, but we don't necessarily want to imply what they should do. For example, a couple of leading questions might be like, well, have you tried talking to your manager about this? Do you think maybe it's time to let that go? Maybe you should delegate that. Or do you think you should delegate that? That's absolutely a leading question. It might be appropriate at the very end of an engagement, once you uncover what they want to do, to maybe ask those types of questions, but we need to resist doing that at the outset. And then my favorite one here, because it can happen, is becoming, too attached to the outcome. Like, oh, we want this person to be successful, that we're just going to make it happen. And I'll be really disappointed if they can't do it or decide to take a different direction. This is about them. It is not about us. It can happen. Believe me, that person who really wanted to leave corporate life and become an entrepreneur, I was rooting for them. I really wanted them to do that. But in the end, he decided that the barriers to do that were just too tall for him at this season of his life. And maybe he'll just make a different decision in a little bit. But again, he made the right decision for him. I helped him uncover all the barriers that he was thinking about, preventing him from doing that. But in the end, he made the right choice for him. And that was what the whole coaching conversation was about. Okay, so that's really for being an independent coach. But again, even if you're coaching internally, those are really the 4 key skills that I see to be mastered. And again, I know you've heard probably about coaching programs, certifications. They all go very deep into those skills and certainly go deep into practicing them within real situations. So I did want to flip the rest of our time here just briefly into talking about how do we enable managers to coach? Because I know many of us are in organizations, and again, even if we're not, many of us are coaching people who lead other people. And so whether that's through their own business as an entrepreneur, whether that's a leader within an organization of any kind, whether someone I just coached who was leading a volunteers through a church and they were really struggling with, how can I motivate volunteers at the church that I'm a member of? So whoever we're coaching, many of them are leading others, have responsibility for others and the like. And so I just thought I would run you through a couple of things that I do to help kind of the skills, building skills with managers to become coaches, because that is how we can extend coaching throughout an enterprise. Again, be it a volunteer enterprise or for-profit enterprise. First of all, often with them, and I don't know if you've heard this even from clients or internally, it's just some people think really a soft, meaning it's kind of touchy-feely. Some people think it's a nice to do. They don't have time to do it. Oh my gosh, if I heard that, I hear that every day. I don't have time to coach. But really, we want to reframe this for managers, that it isn't, and also there's pressure about, I don't have the right advice to give. I'm not an expert. So we want to reframe this to say that coaching is not advice giving. It really is about what we just talked about. It at its core, it's fairly simple. It's about asking, listening, supporting. We're partners, not fixers. And really, as a manager especially, this is about developing people. This is about helping them unlock their potential. And so oftentimes what I find myself doing, and I think I saw a couple things in here, we talked about mentors and the like. What I do with managers or anybody is, what's the difference between giving feedback and coaching? Because oftentimes that comes up as, well, isn't this just feedback? And in fact, it's not. But feedback, giving feedback can turn into a coaching conversation, which is what I like to encourage managers to do all the time, because feedback sometimes can feel very one way and can be one way. It's very past looking. It's typically part of a more formal process, although we encourage people to give feedback all the time, always on. And it's really about, how can I make adjustments to be better in the future? But we can also give praise. Feedback is also constructive, but it also can be praise. Coaching, however, as we've talked about, this is really more about long-term growth. This is more future focused for sure and it's more proactive, and it's helping someone, again, identify their own solutions to what might be holding them back, instead of us saying, you really need to be better at presentation skills. So let's find, a training program for you, for example. but actually every feedback moment can turn into a coaching conversation. And so when I teach managers, there's a couple of things I do. I give them this 15-minute coaching model, actually. And this is good for anybody. Again, if you're coaching someone to be a leader, yes, feed forward, Karen. That was Marshall Goldsmith. He's one of my favorite authors. Sorry, but yes, feedback needs to turn into coaching, which is what I train managers on. And coaching is asking questions and deep listening at its very core. And most people can coach themselves. So this 15-minute model rather is encouraging them, instead of just delivering feedback, it's asking the person what they think about the situation, what got in their way, what made them think that they were struggling, if that was an answer they gave them. Ask what they would change, and then recap and move to next steps. This is a much better way to give feedback, and it's absolutely coaching, because again, most people can coach themselves. Oops, I moved one too many slides. This I can share with you. I am going to share the slides after this presentation. These are my top 10 questions that I share with managers. I almost made it, y'all, but here we go. Not quite yet. There we go. So here are the top 10 questions. And I will share this after. These are the most common things that managers can ask. And I'm going to kind of move us forward here a little bit quickly. I also talk about coaching in daily moments. Coaching should be a part of one-on-ones and formal reviews. And I highly encourage them to use something called the GROW model, which I don't know if many of you have heard of this already. Perhaps you use this within your own coaching engagements, because it's a really good model to follow. And GROW stands for goal, reality, options, and way forward. So what is it we're trying to achieve, essentially? What is your current situation? What are your options for moving forward? And then honestly, what's the first step you're going to take? There's a few questions here again that I'm going to share that kind of go underneath each category, but this is a really simple flow to use, not just for managers, but even as coaches. We can help people understand what they're trying to achieve, what their current reality really is, what's getting in their way, and what options might there be for them, and then how are we going to move forward? Back to that action planning, back to that taking that next step that many of you mentioned for accountability. This is a key model. I use it in coaching engagements. I train managers on how to do that. And the way that I do that, of course, we're not doing that here because we're in a webinar format, but we practice. I have real scenarios that people can practice with the GROW model. And actually, even in a one-on-one coaching session, I highly encourage to use these two kind of practice scenarios. You can actually role play with somebody one-on-one. If someone has trepidation about how a conversation might go or how someone might react, then absolutely get into it with them. Well, where would you start? Let's use the GROW model. What might you ask me? Oh, okay. It's a great thing to do in a group for training, but it's also a good thing to do one-on-one. And one of my favorite exercises I do with managers is, again, we get a scenario. I put them into, threes usually, because two sometimes is intimidating if it's just one other person. And we do 15-minute no fixing coaching drills. So they are not allowed to tell. They're not allowed to make a statement. They're not allowed to fix. They must ask questions. And then, of course, we debrief. So a question I have for you, whether it's for managers or even for people you're coaching, how do you help them practice skills? How do you help them practice coaching skills for managers? Or if you're coaching someone one-on-one, how do you get them to practice what they know they need to be doing? I'm curious. What are your techniques for doing that? I do see feed forward. Cheat sheets of questions. A lot of people need something very concrete like that. They absolutely do. Yes, I know. Time is the biggest obstacle, is it not? I hear that all the time. Role exchange, love that. Have them be the coach and the coachee, fantastic. Definitely. And here's some barriers that I hear all the time. You probably hear this too from people you coach, if you coach managers, for sure. Time. Well, I'll tell you, I have actually made a business case with statistics that say coaching saves time in the long term. I know it feels like a lot at the upfront because asking questions absolutely takes longer than making statements. Definitely does. But if you use that 15-minute coaching model, it's 15 minutes and you're asking 3 questions and you're recapping. Sometimes I hear from managers, well, I feel like I'm ceding authority if I let them make all the decisions. Well, you may not be letting them make all the decisions, but you need to empower people to come to their own conclusion because they will absolutely buy in, especially if you're asking them to change behavior. They support what they create. So they need to help you create the solution. It can't just be thrust upon them. And then finally, I hear from managers, oh, but I have to have all the answers. I'm the expert because I'm the manager and there's tremendous pressure. People are looking for clarity more than the answer. They want clarity on how to move forward. They don't necessarily expect their manager to have all the answers. And that's what I say to managers in terms of addressing these sorts of behaviors. Finally, there's certainly cultural things, my goodness, that we need to do. Coaching should be a part of any formal performance review. This is something we spend a lot of time and attention about. We recognize leaders who are coaching oriented. You can have a coach of the month, a coach of the quarter. I really think recognition goes a long way to helping people kind of change this behavior and become a coach themselves. And I know many of you have mentioned peer learning circles, coaching circles, labs. Absolutely. Managers need support, and part of that support comes from their peers. So what we can do, if you are an L&D professional, is to structure these things for them. Give them the questions, give them the scenarios, and let them help each other for sure. But again, you can do this with independent coaching clients as well. I've actually had people create coaching circles externally instead of only one-on-one services, especially if people have a common goal or a common problem they're trying to solve. That actually goes a long way and can be very helpful to help people kind of get unstuck. Certainly, if we're talking about managers, we need to model it from the top. This is easier said than done. But honestly, we have a number of leaders who have executive coaches, and we tell them to make that visible and to tell people. So if your executives are being coached, people should know that. They should know that they have permission to do that as well. And coaching then can become kind of a part of the culture. But I'm curious from your perspective, and then we'll move to questions here, is, how would you or do you help managers kind of embrace and adopt a coaching skills? I'm curious if this is something you all do today. I love that saying, pressure cooking to cooking the pressure. Agreed. Pressure can be very self-created, can it not? We feel under pressure, but maybe that's not actually the situation. I think getting managers to play this role can be tough. It really can be hard. But if we recognize, if we support them, maximum support and love, I agree. Sometimes managers don't get enough. They just don't. They need the support. They need the training. They need the tools. They need to be recognized. They need to know it's okay. This is actually expected of them to be a good manager. And there is tremendous benefits. And I think we should absolutely be sharing what those are. Okay. So as I mentioned, for managers, we need a new definition of coaching. We need simple tools. They need practice opportunities, and we must have supportive systems and leaders in place. And then finally, I want to just say, in terms of coaching for the future, what I would say is we all need to listen deeply, ask boldly, reflect clearly, and support growth. We shouldn't be fixing, we should be facilitating. And so I ask you, what maybe of what we've just discussed in the last 50, 45 minutes here, which skill are you going to try to strengthen this week? And where can you apply this tomorrow? Let's just take 3 minutes, please, put them in the chat. What skill might you try to think about strengthen this week, and where might you be able to use this tomorrow? Just take a couple minutes to reflect, write it down for yourself, but please share it in the chat. Yes, listen actively. Global listening. We're listening with all of our senses so we can tell what's really going on. Yes, active listening. It's hard. I suggest putting a quote on your wall. I think something should be in front of you to remind you. I do that. Casey, be quiet. Ask a question, be quiet. Yes. Yes. And the right questions at the right time. Yes. And think about how and what questions. Those are so much more open than, well, why are you doing this? Yes. Great. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. I know we probably, and luckily I won't need my slides for Q&A. Sorry about my monitor. Clearly it needs to be replaced. I just want to thank you for your time and attention. I know we don't have a ton of time together today, but really, I know you all have the tools to spark transformation. So think about those skills, those 4 skills: listening, asking powerful questions, recapping, and challenging, along with accountability. I think, Satalu, you put my LinkedIn information in there. Please find me on LinkedIn. And if you are curious and do work a lot with managers and middle managers, feel free to check out my book on Amazon, Succeed from the Middle, A Middle Manager's Guide to Stop Being Pulled Apart and Start Balancing Your Team, Your Boss, and You, which can be hard.
So, I hope you have all enjoyed today's session. And thank you so much, Casey, for sending us the recording session and also blending the coaching perspective from the leadership POV. I'm sure our participants have learned a lot today. So, a few of you what wanted to see the grow model again to understand this, but I really apologize because we are running out of the time, so I'll not be able to share those again. But to help you out, I think Gopi has shared a screenshot. So thank you so much, Gopi, for helping us out over here. And if you want, you can connect with the speaker directly for this. I'm sharing her LinkedIn ID. So I'm sure she would be happy to help you out, guys, for any query or any discussion you guys want to have with her. So this is a LinkedIn ID. Do connect with her. And as I told you that we are running out of the session, we are running out of the time. So let's wrap up the session quickly because I know you guys have committed your time and I'm not going to take a lot of time. So just allow me a minute to reshare my screen. So if you guys are ready for getting the certification into learning and development, the certifications are available now on our website. And we are also giving a complimentary coupon code to all of our participants, which will give you a 20% off for opting this certification. I have shared the coupon code link into the chat box so that you don't miss out. So if you're ready to get certified into the learning and development, do check our website, use the coupon code link, get certified, and also get the 20% off. And also this offer is for a very limited time of period, so make sure you're taking the advantage of it. And before wrapping up, I just wanted to make a quick announcement regarding the utility tool. So if you're on your job hunting journey, this tool will help you a lot because in today's AI era, HR and recruiters, everyone is taking the help of AI to make their professional journey even more easier because they do get a lot of resumes on daily basis. So now they are taking the help of AI ATS screening system to pass on to the resume for next round of interview. But let's face the fact That is also one of the biggest reason that most candidates' resumes are getting rejected, even though after having the skills and experience, because their resumes are not up to the AI ATS screening system. So what you can do, you can take the help of utility tool. We are also giving a complimentary coupon code to all of our participants to make your job hunting journey even more easier, which will give you 100% off. So I'm sending the coupon code link into the chat box so that you don't miss out. So you can log in into the utility tool by using your LinkedIn ID and password, and it will give you a recommendation according to the job designation you're targeting and the industry you're targeting. And it will re-improvise your LinkedIn profile, make you stand out in front of the recruiters and HR. So if you're looking for a job, this tool is for you. So take the help of utility tool, make your job hunting journey even more easier, and all the best to all of the people who are currently on their job hunting journey. And as today we had a Casey Wall's impactful session, although she was not been able to available because of her health, but I'm sure in future we will be having her in session. She will be able to available a live person with us. But tomorrow we are going to have one more impactful session of Charity McDonald. Charity is leadership consultant, speaker, author at CRWN Institute, and she is going to lead the session on how the CLO role is evolving in the age of skills data and AI. And this is going to be at the same time, 9:30 a.m. Central, 11:30 p.m. Singapore, 9 p.m. Indian, and 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So I'm hoping to see you all tomorrow as well. And if you're an ISO enthusiastic people, this webinar is for you, because we have added a lot of new modules of ISO which will make you 2026 ready. From policies to practice, designing ISO driven governance that works in the real world. This is conducting from 19th Jan to 23rd Jan, and the timings are 8:30 a.m. Central, 10:30 p.m. Singapore, 8 p.m. Indian, and 9:30 a.m. Eastern. And if you're an AI enthusiastic people, then this webinar is for you, because in the GSDC AI in Action 2026, predict, and perform across industries, we have added a lot of new technologies and a lot of new AI modules which will make your future ready. And also, the speaker who are coming on this AI webinar are going to give hands-on demo on every tool which they are presenting in the session. So you will be able to learn a lot regarding the new tools of AI. So this webinar is conducting from 12th Jan to 16th Jan, and from 19th January to 23rd January at 7:30 a.m. Central, 9:30 p.m. Singapore, 7 p.m. Indian, 8:30 a.m. Eastern timing. With that, it's time to celebrate our referral champions. So today we have Banu Tirgesh, EBI, and Avinash Kumar. Special thanks to all three of you for helping us simplify our initiative and reach it to the wider global audience. You can also be one of our knowledge professionals and advisors. So what you have to do, if any of your peers, colleagues, and professional wants to join for the webinar or any other webinar, you can refer the registration link from our website, and every referral will earn you a point. So once you hit a 50 referral point, you will be able to get a $400 worth gift certification voucher. So this offer is for a very limited time work period. Make sure you're taking the advantage of this offer as well. So what are you waiting for? Do the referral to your peers and colleagues and become one of our knowledge professionals and advisors. And if you want to be one of our speaker for our podcast, for our tailor, for our webinar, please do reach out at pratibha@gsdccouncil.org and preetham@gsdccouncil.org. I have shared the email IDs into the chat box so that you don't miss out. And last but not the least, you guys can connect on this platform for staying updated regarding our upcoming events and trends, because we are making a lot of changes. We are bringing a lot of new things to making your learning journey even more insightful. So you can connect us on our LinkedIn, our website, our WhatsApp group. Also, we would love to hear your session key takeaways. We would love to hear your learning outcomes. We would love to know your feedbacks and suggestions as well, because it will help us to improve our program. I am sharing all of this link into the chat box so that you can connect with us easily, and do share your feedbacks and suggestions onto the reviews.io. With that, it's time to come to an end. Thank you so much once again, Casey, for sharing the recorded session for our participant today. Hoping to get you well soon, and we're looking forward to having you in the future session as well. Thank you so much to all of the participants for joining into our learning journey today. If you have any query, please do drop an email onto pratibha@gsdccouncil.org. Otherwise, connect with the speaker directly for any guidance or any clarification. So we are excited to have you with us and see you tomorrow at another impactful Global Skill Development Council Learning and Development sessions. Till then, keep learning, keep energizing. Have a good day, good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you are.